CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Big changes could be on the way for London's downtown and the city's skyline. An $18 million infrastructure project is wrapping up, dramatically expanding sewage capacity and opening up development opportunities for decades to come. With more, here's Jerry DeWan.
Most major projects have a breakthrough moment, and there was a literal breakthrough for the downtown sewage capacity project. A specialized tunnel boring machine emerges in a shaft in Ivy Park after spending days traveling under the Thames River, reaching a depth of 14 meters.
This is an example of a micro-tunneling, one of the largest tunneling projects we've ever done in the city's history.
There are actually two tunnels under the river that will replace a small line that's nearly 100 years old. That will help transform the downtown.
It means that we can do more intensification, more growth, more development, so supporting up to 17,000 new units.
The current downtown sanitary sewage system was at capacity, meaning all significant downtown development applications were on hold.
It's the heartbeat of any community. It can be a real heartbeat for London.
Mike Wallace is executive director of the London Development Institute, representing a number of the city's largest developers. He says the potential for the downtown can now be unlocked.
We think that downtown London has a tremendous amount of potential, and part of that potential is making sure we have a solid base of people who actually live, work, use downtown as their entertainment center.
The sewer capacity expansion is happening in conjunction with a significant upgrade to the Greenway wastewater management facility. Dan says the new sewer link, combined with other work on sewage infrastructure in the downtown, will also dramatically reduce the impact on the environment.
It's all part of a larger system that's going to improve capacity, but also protect the health of the Thames River. So we've got work that's been happening for years to separate our combined sewers in the core. This is going to upsize our capacity under the river.
The city projects London's population will reach 750,000 people by 2050. Connections for the new lines will be made in the next couple of weeks, and work will begin to restore parks on both sides of the river. Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
To the murder trial in St. Thomas, where notebook entries were detailed in court, revealing a tumultuous relationship between a young woman and the man accused of killing her. With more on today's trial proceedings, here's Nick Paparella.
Detective Constable Christopher Thomas testified that as a forensic identification officer, he showed up to 562 Kingsway Avenue in West London in July of 2023 to take dozens of photos of the crime scene after the badly beaten body of 22-year-old Caitlin Jennings was removed. He described the bloody mess throughout the main floor of the house, saying, "I could see blood staining around the sink. There's a knife on the right side." As he went through the home of the accused, 53-year-old David Yates, the officer came across a notebook, and in court, he read several entries that the Crown claims were made by Yates as he attempted suicide. One reads, "Why did I not walk away? I did this to Caitlin." On another page, "I will hold you, Caitlin. You did not deserve this. I'm a piece of sorry to everyone." In the notebook, there are claims that the victim was being unfaithful to the accused online. "I had no idea she was hooking up with a crazy amount of guys. I have no excuses at all. I did this. I'm a monster." Hours after calling 911 that summer day, Yates was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. He has pled not guilty. Earlier in the day, the court heard from one of the first London police officers at the crime scene. Constable Jonathan Ruffalo testified about going inside the house and finding Caitlin's body. The officer said, "When I first entered the residence, I saw blood droplets in the kitchen and blood in the living room." He said she was in the living room, partially covered with a blanket. He believed the body had been there for some time because, he said, "I touched her arm to confirm that her whole body was stiff. Rigor mortis had set in." The trial is expected to resume on Wednesday. In St. Thomas, Nick Paparella, CTV News.
St. Thomas police say they're investigating an early morning fire at an apartment building. They say they were called just after 4 a.m. for a fire on the ground floor of a building on Chestnut Street. According to firefighters, there was smoke coming from one of the units. They were able to get it under control quickly, preventing spread to other apartments. They say they're still trying to work out what started the fire.
This is a city building, so social services is here to support all the other residents in the building. City police are on scene with us if there's to be anything that's suspicious, which we don't think so at this time. After we do our investigation, we'll make sure everybody gets back in and get the building back in order.
Oxford OPP say they're investigating an early morning stabbing in Tillsonburg. Police say they were responding to a weapons call at a housing co-op around 3:30 this morning. They say one person was found with suspected stab wounds and they were taken to hospital. According to police, 2 people have been arrested, but there's been no word on possible charges. Many Indigenous people in our region could soon get access to a family doctor or nurse practitioner. The provincial government has announced nearly $2 million supporting an Indigenous-led organization expanding its primary care services. Brian Bicknell reports.
First Nations people often face unseen barriers when it comes to accessing health care. Doug George is Senior Manager of Traditional Healing at Southwest Ontario Aboriginal Health Access Centre, or SOHAC. He says that often stems from healthcare professionals not understanding Indigenous culture.
People who haven't had to endure that type of pain or suffering as like whether they were raised here in Canada or not, have a difficult time, like understanding where Indigenous people are coming from in terms of their healing, health and wellness.
George was on hand as MPP Steve Pinsino announced more than $1.9 million in provincial funding. It's to support SOHAC in helping people connect to a family doctor or primary care healthcare team.
We're utilizing nurse practitioners more, and we even see there's going to be a bigger need for them in the future to come.
SOHAC says primary care services and mobile outreach will be expanded across the region, serving urban Indigenous populations as well as remote First Nations communities. The expansion will help connect some 2,200 people to primary care across Lambton, Kent, Middlesex and surrounding areas, a region that stretches from Owen Sound in the north to Windsor in the south. But it's not typical health care. SOHAC CEO Jen Martin says it's holistic care, which recognizes the needs of Indigenous people.
They understand the culture. They understand what's needed for an integrated care model. We have our healers here as well. They understand the intergenerational trauma. They understand the residential school, the truth and reconciliation of what's required.
That's a good start, is what I say. Yeah. And so we need to do a lot more work out there to be able to correct the damages that have been done.
Brian Bicknell, CTV News.
There's a growing number of people taking up residence in highway carpool parking lots. Facing unaffordable rental prices, they found a viable alternative in trailers and RVs. Jeff Pickle has more on what's being described as hidden homelessness.
The carpool parking lot is not much.
My backyard of sorts, I guess.
But for nearly a year, it's been home for George and his girlfriend.
Well, I was working, and then I suddenly lost work, and I couldn't pay my rent anymore.
George's story is similar to so many others who find themselves without a home.
My girlfriend works landscaping, and then snow removal in the winter, and I just work on cars. Yeah, we're hoping to save up into some money to get first and last.
While still working, they say finding a place to rent has not been possible. George says the isolation of the parking lot keeps them safe from unwanted conflict.
The last spot that I was at, the neighbors did. You see all my windows, they're all still broken from them slinging rocks with a slingshot.
Across the lot, Debbie's situation very similar.
Well, we came here because the rent got boosted up so high since the COVID.
With her husband working full-time, she says the trailer is a good temporary solution.
I'm a lot luckier than other people. They're in their tents and I got security of the cameras here, the lights. I got my generator for electricity.
Those who park at the carpool parking lot say they don't mind and say they've seen George and his girlfriend working hard to keep the lot clean.
They constantly are picking up garbage. So yeah, it's good. It's not like there's no parking in the parking lot.
Both the OPP and the MTO say they are aware and monitoring the situation. Experts tell us this type of housing is more common than we may think.
We usually think about the people that we see on the street in an encampment on the sidewalk, but that's actually only the tip of the iceberg.
According to Day, it's the stability that makes this an attractive location.
A parking lot or something like that offers to people is a little bit of consistency and a little bit of stability where hopefully they're not being moved along every few days, and so they can kind of get settled and figure out what next steps are.
And while people like George and Deborah work towards a better situation, they are hopeful to remain where they are.
Jeff Pickle, CTV News.
Local businesses are ramping up their pitch to soccer fans, hoping to capitalize on World Cup hype. With more on the expected impact for tourism and the local economy, here's Brent Lale.
World Cup fever has hit the Forest City.
A lot of people coming in for their Canada jerseys, one of the most sold jerseys here at Soccer World in London. We have a big Croatian community as well. We can barely keep up these jerseys in store, which is great.
The tournament begins Thursday with Canada kicking off its second appearance in 40 years Friday afternoon. There will be watch parties around the city, including at the Scots Corner.
A lot of different times, playing at 3 and 6 and 9, so it's a little bit different. Usually it's always over in Europe, so the games are earlier, so it'll be interesting to see some games a little bit later on at night.
The city's #1 soccer pub has 80-inch televisions ready for their patio.
The England and Canada games, from past experience, will be great. But I mean, it starts off with Scotland plays Saturday night at 9 p.m., which is crazy too, right? So we'll have them, and then the Canada games are definitely a big draw right now.
Across the street, Tourism London is capitalizing on the event being in Canada.
Yeah, our Tourism London landing page has skyrocketed with first-time visitors. We're getting thousands of people every day who've never been to the site checking out what London has for the first time.
Their Match Made in London campaign offers cheaper hotels than Toronto, a 30% discount on rail travel, and they have a big party scheduled for July 4th at Victoria Park.
Destination Ontario identified that World Cup travelers are really likely to go beyond that host city. So we want to encourage them to check out the festivals we have for food and music and the energy that we have surrounding the game.
Back at Soccer World,
I can tell you personally that I know people from every continent in the world that live here in London. So it's amazing. It's amazing, the mix of cultures. And now that the World Cup is here, I feel like it's a time for all the cultures to come together, enjoy the game. And yeah, the game is only going to take off from now. So very excited about what's happening. Very happy for Canada to host it. Hopefully we'll see a historic 3 points in the first game this Friday against Bosnia.
Brent Lale, CTV News.
Still ahead, cutting off kids from social media. Potential legislation in Ottawa banning anyone under 16 from accessing those platforms. Canada's main stock index was down as the price of oil fell. The TSX fell 67 points in New York. The Dow added 86. The Nasdaq dropped 251. The Canadian dollar was unchanged at the end of trading today. On commodity markets, gold lost $77 an ounce. Oil slipped more than $3 a barrel. Prime Minister Mark Carney says the new Gordie Howe Bridge connecting Windsor and Detroit will open at the end of the week. It was designed as a symbol of cooperation between Canada and the U.S., but has since turned into a point of trade contention after President Donald Trump got involved. And because of that, when traffic will actually start flowing remains uncertain. Graham Richardson reports.
The construction complexities of this massive project were the only obstacle. After decades of planning, years of construction, apparently the Gordie Howe Bridge is set to open between Windsor and Michigan.
It's positive news. Obviously, the bridge will be open at the end of the week, and a symbol, but also a fact of cooperations between our countries.
But in 2026, it's just not that simple. After blasting Canada over the bridge in February and threatening to block it because of trade disputes, the White House said despite the ribbon-cutting Friday, the president's position on the Gordie Howe Bridge has not changed. The administration remains committed to securing the best deal for the American people. So some kind of ceremony this week, but no official answer yet on when traffic will actually flow.
Politics is getting weird, and I think that is the technical term these days.
The bridge was paid for by Canada, American workers and materials were used, and it's partially owned by the state of Michigan. There is wide support for it opening on the American side, too.
If there is a better deal to be had by the Americans, I have no idea what that would be.
For those who fought for decades to keep the project going on the Canadian side, there is optimism.
I'm surprised that it's been resolved as quickly as it has, and kudos to Canada and to our American friends the many, many American friends who have long supported this project.
But then again, maybe not.
Well, I hope so. I really hope so that it's going to happen. So let's see what really happens.
So there will be some kind of an opening ceremony on the bridge itself on Friday. One American media outlet is reporting that vehicles will flow starting Monday morning, but that was before that statement today from the White House. So the people of Michigan and Windsor may have to wait a little longer for the strange politics of 2026 to work themselves out. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Now, once vehicles do start crossing the bridge, there will be a significant impact for our region's shipping industry. With more on what that means for truckers carrying Canadian goods across southwestern Ontario and beyond, here's Adrian Gabriel.
Spanning 2.5 kilometers across the banks of the Detroit River, the new Gordie Howe Bridge has sat idle. That is about to change.
It's been 25 years in the making. I'm happy to hear this.
The old Ambassador Bridge has been the only crossing and the busiest along the Canada-U.S. border for years. More than $390 million in trade traverses the route each day, representing 26% of Canada's exports and 33% of all imports by road. Here inside CSA Transportation, freight is moved into hundreds of big rigs that cross into the United States every day with increasing difficulty.
It's expensive, really, really, really long lineups, so it's caused delays in moving freight cross-border.
How important is another border crossing, another bridge for your industry?
Trucks that are crossing the border, it won't be as long waits. It'll be cost-effective for them, and if it's more cost-effective for them, then that passes on to the consumer.
Detroit and Windsor, Ontario have been bound by two automotive economies.
There's $100 million worth of auto parts that goes across that bridge in either direction every single day.
The president of Canada's Auto Parts Manufacturing Association shares his belief that the new bridge will remove a bottleneck at the border with more direct routes to market.
The route to this bridge is in from a highway, out to a highway. Anytime you can improve those processes in public infrastructure, you're winning.
For the mayor of Canada's automotive capital, the pending opening is a victory years in the making.
Being able to have certainty in crossing the border is imperative for this auto industry and parts sector to work seamlessly. It's going to be great for commerce, great for community.
The consensus among multiple industry leaders we spoke with today is that less wait times at the border and cheaper tolls should deliver savings for Canadians. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News.
Good evening. The humidity has made a comeback. Muggy conditions as we head through the overnight. We've had rounds of scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially in through parts of Midwestern Ontario with some heavy rainfall. There's a special weather statement indicating the potential for heavy rain as we head through the overnight and first thing tomorrow morning in through Grey and Bruce County. Waking up to 21 degrees. Thank you, Tammy Lynn, for this photo of Knuckles. There is a chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning, but by about 9 o'clock, we should be back into a mix of sun and cloud. And as we head through the day, temperatures are set to soar. I'll have all your local forecast details coming up on the other side of the break.
Welcome back on the desk with Julie. Now, I did some yard work earlier in the day, could feel the humidity building and got in because by tonight. We've seen some rain showers, and I think it much needed in some cases when it comes to just how dry it's been.
Yeah, you can just feel the moisture, the change in the air mass, and it's that kind of air you can wear. Definitely in terms of our high temperature today, 27, but it felt like the mid to upper 30s. It'll be even stickier tomorrow. We've had rainfall, we had special weather statement in effect in through Grey and Bruce County, followed by severe thunderstorm watch late this afternoon. Into the evening, the chance for thunderstorms will continue as we head through the overnight. However, the probability will start to drop off. So temperatures were above normal today. Satellite radar showing the rainfall that's moved through northern Ontario. We had a round come through early in the day that pushed east towards Toronto, just missing the London area. We had that solid deck of cloud cover through the day today. Another round of rain coming through late through the evening, and again the chance will continue overnight. Now, not everyone will see thunderstorms, not everyone picking up the rainfall. This is the kind of air mass that we're dealing with. So what happens is we do have this low pressure system that has arrived, and it's a slow mover. As a result, potential for heavy rainfall. We got all of this moisture to tap into. So waking up tomorrow morning to some cloud cover and a thick air, that's for sure, a muggy start to the day. North of the city, there'll be some rainfall and the possibility of some thunderstorms, and that'll drive eastward. Then we break into a mix of sun and cloud through the day Wednesday, and then that's when the temperatures start to jump. So by the afternoon, we'll be close to 30 degrees, and it will feel close to 38 to 40. So definitely oppressive in terms of the humidity and the amount of moisture just in the air. There's a cold front that will be approaching as we roll into your Thursday. That will lead to around the scattered showers and once again some thunderstorms. So you can see this is at 3 a.m. That's in advance of the frontal boundary that will be coming through early Friday. So again, just slow moving showers and thunderstorms, potential for heavy rainfall. Overnight, we're not going to see a big drop off. We have a heat warning in effect in through Windsor, Essex, Chatham, Kent, and Sarnia, where the humidex through the day tomorrow will feel close to 40. Temperatures overnight anywhere between 17 and 18. In London overnight 20, Port Stanley 19. Storm risk will linger, as I mentioned, but breaking into a mix of sun and cloud Wednesday afternoon, and the high 30. By Thursday, still the chance for showers and thunderstorms, that cold front coming through. Chance first thing Friday morning, but again, there'll be times where there's lots of sunshine. It'll just be rather unsettled. I said last night it'll be kind of a look and wait and see kind of day in terms of if you're able to get out to your sporting events in the evening. That's what happened today. Again, that's expected to happen as we head into your Thursday and Friday. Mix of sun and cloud both Saturday and Sunday. Daytime highs over the weekend much more comfortable. The air changes. We're out of the heat. We're out of the humidity, and conditions much improved. Back into a nice mix of sun and cloud, cooler and drier, and definitely cooler if you are near the shoreline of Lake Erie or Lake Huron as we head into the weekend. So unsettled, hot and humid through the week with scattered showers and thunderstorms lingering until first thing Friday. By Friday afternoon, we're back into a mix of sun and cloud. Carlyle?
Thanks very much, Julie. The federal government is expected to join countries like Australia and France in banning social media for kids under 16. It's part of an online safety bill which could be introduced as early as tomorrow. With more on how the legislation will work, here's Judy Trim.
2 to 5.
Yeah.
4. How many hours?
I've seen anywhere from like 3 to 6.
Every student on this grade 8 school field trip spends hours on their phone daily. Most give a social media ban for kids under 16 a failing mark.
It's like a way for them to communicate and like get friends other than like friends at school. If you post a video or something like that and people put comments, it can like boost your confidence.
If you do ban it, I feel like they definitely find much more unsafe ways to get around it. That would just be more harmful to the kids.
But the culture minister is expected to table a new digital safety bill on Wednesday.
We will take all reasonable measures to make sure kids are safe in this country.
Do you feel more confident?
I think it's obvious why it's a priority. Kids are dying.
A federal digital regulator would be appointed to set safety standards. In addition to the age limit, social media companies would be required to remove child sexual abuse material and reduce exposure to content that encourages children to hurt themselves. But experts worry the bill could backfire.
Implementing a ban is enormously difficult. It costs a lot of resources, requires a lot on the enforcement front, etc.
There's concern that age verification could violate privacy and block student access to educational material. But this teacher supports a ban because she needs more tools to control social media use in the classroom and at home.
I just feel like kids need a little bit more guidance and restriction at this age. They're at a pivotal time in their life when they are forming rights and wrongs, and I just feel like it opens up Pandora's box.
The Liberals have been trying to introduce legislation to protect children from online harms for 7 years. They now have a majority, but there isn't enough time to pass the bill before Parliament rises for the summer. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Welcome back. The Ontario government is investing tens of millions of dollars in provincial parks, expanding campsites in the years ahead. Scott Miller has more on the growing demand for outdoor spaces.
Nearly 14 million visitors stayed in an Ontario provincial park last year, the most campers ever.
Many parks reach capacity during peak seasons, which is wonderful in one sense. But it means there are families who want to spend a weekend under the stars, and they can't always find a site. That is why today, I'm happy to announce that we are beginning the first phase of our $60 million multi-year investment to deliver the largest campground expansion Ontario has seen in more than half a century.
285 campsites have already been upgraded to electrical sites at Sandbanks, Arrowhead, and Turkey Point provincial parks. 67 new sites will be ready for campers this summer, including 17 new ones at McGregor Point Provincial Park near Port Elgin, which was the backdrop for today's provincial announcement.
These new campsites represent the first wave in our plan to create approximately 300 new campsites and electrify up to 800 more, a total of 1,000 new and upgraded sites.
The province is trying to capitalize on, I guess, one of the positive outcomes from COVID, where more people showed a renewed interest in exploring the great outdoors.
Because as we all know, demand for outdoor recreation continues to grow, and families are eager to spend time connecting with nature. These new sites will help more people enjoy that experience while also supporting longer stays and repeat visits.
Campers spend money too, taking day trips to the towns and villages located near their temporary homes in the woods.
When visitors come to McGregor Point, they just don't stay in the park. They visit our local shops, they buy groceries, they dine at our incredible restaurants, and they support our businesses right across the region and throughout Ontario.
Reservations for the 67 new Ontario campsites open June 15th.
It's time to start planning your next visit to Ontario parks.
Near Port Elgin, Scott Miller, CTV News.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For all of us at CTV News London, I'm Carlyle Fiset. Have a good night.